today I'm going to be doing a book review of the last book in the Mortal Instruments, and that is of course City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. It is book 6, the last book in the Mortal Instruments series, and I am so happy to have this in my hands. So as I featured in my Made book haul, which if you haven't seen, I'll leave a link down below for you, this actual edition actually has two things exclusive to this edition. So the first thing is this little kind of poster, which I just thought was really cool. I don't know, it's just really amazing, and I kind of want to take it out of my book and put it on my wall, but I kind of want to keep it in, so can't decide what I'm doing there. So you should let me know what you're doing with yours, if you're keeping it in your book or if you're putting it on your wall. Another thing that is exclusive to this edition is this little comic strip at the end of the book called The Wedding. It does contain spoilers, so don't have a look for it until you have read the book, and it's to do with both this book and of course the Infernal Devices. So if you haven't read that series, you might not get some of the things. A lot of things I've been seeing some people ask is that can they read this book without having read the Infernal Devices series, the 3 books in there, so the Clockwork series. And my advice to you is that you can read this book, but there are some stuff in here that maybe might not make some sense to you, and I think you'll just get a lot more out of this book and the Infernal Devices series if you read them before reading City of Heavenly Fire. And if you haven't read the Infernal Devices series, seriously check it out, because that series is just amazing. It's a trilogy, it's got 3 books in a series, and it's just, words could not describe how much I love that series, so yeah, definitely check it out. But yeah, let's get into the review of City of Heavenly Fire. I absolutely love this book. I thought it was a fantastic ending to a brilliant series. I found maybe the last couple of books maybe not as great as the other books, but this book was just, it was amazing. I was never bored throughout this book and everything, and it was entertaining, and it just had everything that I would want and could ask for in a book. It's 750 pages, as you can tell it's a chunky book, but I flew through it so quick. You know, you're never bored throughout this book, so time just flies when you're reading it, and I would definitely, don't let the size put you off, because I mean, this book could have been at 2,000 pages and I would have loved it. One thing I was worried about this book was the deaths, and I'm not going to spoil anything in this bit. I will do a spoilery bit after, but I will warn this is going to be my non-spoilery part. All in all though, this was just fantastic. I absolutely loved it. It was the right amount of everything I could ever ask for. The ending I thought was perfect. Throughout the book it was just fantastic. You had a lot of funny moments, but there were a lot of dark and serious moments in here too. There was just a lot of right amount of everything. The story was wrapped out nicely, and you were also introduced to some characters who are going to appear in Cassandra Clare's next Shadowhunter series, which I think it's called the Dark Artifact series. Yeah, you're introduced to them, and they seem like really kick-ass characters, so I'm really excited to see how their story unfolds and everything throughout their Shadowhunter series, and hopefully we'll get to see Clary and Jace and everyone, all the gang in that series too, because even though it was wrapped up nicely, you can never get enough of those characters, you know. So if you haven't picked up this book, I don't know what you're doing. Go pick it up, go read it. It's fantastic. You won't regret it, and I hope you sincerely enjoy it as much as I did. So now I'm going to get into the spoilers. So if you have not read this book and you do not want to be spoiled, please leave now, as I'm going to get into spoilers. Okay, let's quickly discuss some things that happened in here. First off, the prologue, where we have Emma and everything. Whilst I found that interesting at the start, I was like, come on, I just want Clary and Jace. I've been waiting 2 years, let me get to Clary and Jace. But by the end of that prologue, crazy stuff happened, and I was like, wow, are you serious? I was not thinking of Clary and Jace at that moment. That was some crazy stuff, and Sebastian is crazy in this book. I love the Clary and Jace moments, and the Sizzy moments, and the Malik moments. Malik got back together, yay, and I'm so excited that they got all that sorted out and everything. Clary and Jace were just fantastic. They finally had sex. I was a little bit disappointed that maybe it didn't go into as much detail as I would have liked. If you don't really know what I'm talking about, and if you don't really know what I mean by sex in young adult books, maybe you should check out Ariel Biset's video Sex and Young Adult books. I think it's called something like that. If I can find it, I'll leave the link down below. But I just feel like I would have loved a little bit more information on this sexting. It's starting to a little bit gloss over it, and I guess that is to be expected. But yeah, I was a little bit disappointed with that, but I did still love it. I mean, finally, we've been waiting 6 books for this. There were 2 things that broke my heart in this book, and that was when Sebastian was stabbed by Clare with the sword that had the heavenly fire infused in it, and he turned into Jace for those not Jace, and he turned into Jonathan for those last final moments of his life, and it was a kind of what could have been if he hadn't had demon blood in him and everything. And it was just really sad that Jonathan died and everything. Also, I called it. I knew that Jordan was going to die. I mean, I was saying to my boyfriend, he's an important enough character that it's going to hurt if he dies, but not important enough that it's like he's like not one of the big gang, like, you know, like Clary and Jason, Simon and Alec and Izzy and everything, that it's gonna really hurt us. So I thought Jordan would die, and he did, and it was sad, and I had no idea what was going on with the whole Mia situation. I was like, what the hell? And when she said that she didn't want to be with him anymore, I mean, I could understand it, but I just didn't see that coming. So yeah, I kind of felt bad for Jordan and Mia in that way. The other thing that broke my heart is when Simon lost all his memories, and I cried because to me it wasn't as bad as him dying, but it was up there, and it was horrible. And I honestly thought that we were gonna have this series end with Simon not knowing. I thought that Simon would never remember the shadow held to roam, and I was devastated by that. That was devastating. So when Magnus and everything turned him into a shadow hunter, I just thought that was fantastic, and he slowly regained some of his memories throughout that night. Oh, it was just fantastic, and I'm just so happy that Simon regained some of his memories and that he can be with them again, because oh, I just couldn't be satisfied if this is how that was going to end, but thankfully it didn't. Also, I'm not going to go into the spoilers of the comic strip at the end of the book here and everything, but there are some clockwork infernal devices feels in that too that also made me cry, and I was like, oh my gosh, I cried. But it was fantastic. Like, this book was just fantastic. I think we couldn't have asked for a better end. Cassandra Clare just loves to, like, knows how to read. Like, epilogues are like her thing. Like, the infernal devices proved it, and this proved it. This epilogue was amazing. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this book, what you think of it and everything. Were you happy with this ending? Were you satisfied? Were there any major deaths or anything that you were sad about? Or did you think that she should have done something different? Or were you completely satisfied like me? Like this video if you liked it, and I'll see you next time.